I love Seb's
Well, I
hot
already
takes.
saw-
That's so funny.
You've never had a warm take anyway. You've never had a cold take. You've never had a take. It's always spicy.
What do you mean?
Your takes are always terrifyingly hot.
Too hot to handle. Chelsea
your
will finish
takes are
top
all-
4 this year.
Yeah, Chelsea easy top 4. Your
Easy
takes are
top
like
4, yeah, easy as well with it.
The thing is, you got
your
you got
takes are like
seconds to win.
if Kevin Nolan never played for West Ham, played for a bigger team, he'd be the greatest midfielder of all time. It's like whoa. What?
What the fuck?
Hello, everyone of the world. Vinny, that's my joke. I hope you are all well.
Sorry, do that again.
Hello, everyone of the world. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the greatest podcast of all time.
Hello.
I'm your host with the most, Morky Mork. And as always, I'm joined by my two great chums, Vinny and Sebek. How are you
Well
lads?
run.
How are you lads both doing?
I'm doing
on this
great,
fine
man.
day.
I'm
Doing really good,
I'm
yeah.
enjoying the early summer sun. That's coming
peak,
our
innit?
way. Yeah, it's lovely. It's almost too lovely. It's fucking hot. I hate it. As an English
Oh
person,
yeah, I've
I
had
hate the sun.
t-shirts out. I've finally been able to shed the jumper the last 2 days. It's been fucking brilliant. I've had the aircon on in the van.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what
Love
it
it.
feels like right now? It feels like, when you're a kid and your birthday seems like a really long way away, and then suddenly you're like, it's like next week. Like that's what it
Yeah.
feels like. Suddenly, like the Euros are genuinely around the corner.
Yeah.
The Champions League finals come in. It's
Yeah.
fucking sunny. The
Yeah.
Usyk
Yeah.
Fury fight's actually happening. Like it's like all these things are like nebulous ideas that just might.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
some point, we'll get to watch the football outside. It's all fucking happening.
Yeah, exactly. Beer gardens. I went to the pub and sat outside and had a pint on Saturday in the
Oh.
sun.
Oh, love
Mate,
it.
we need to go down there to the old Greyhound. Shout out the local. They've got
How far away is it from you?
20-minute walk, not that far.
Oh, okay.
nice.
And you've
Down
only-
on the main road.
yeah, right.
They got JL Ale on tap.
Oh,
They got Estrella on tap.
I'm there.
They do burgers. They got an outdoor bar.
Oof.
Mate, it's fucking.
We need to go
top
there.
notch.
Absolutely. Next
Yeah,
time
we
I'm
will
down
go
in
there.
Fenton, let's go there.
We'll take a walk down there. Yeah.
But yeah, how you doing,
Cool,
man?
well.
How you doing, Mork?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. That's my story.
Yeah.
Nice. Went to the pub.
Nice.
To the pub. Yep. Actually, what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, the lad, the old son, the old
Ball and chain.
seed. What do you say about your children?
Yeah.
Like with the apple of my eye. I don't know. Fucking the young lad has finally. He's finally started to like football, which is very topical. Every night now, he's like, "Can we go outside and play football?" I'm like, "Yep." We get the goal out, get the ball out. He goes in goal, and I fucking smash him in, and then he go. And
You celebrate. Well done. He's
Yeah.
4.
then I go in goal, and I'll throw a few in. You know, if he hits them quite hard, I might throw it in. But if it's like a weak one, I'll just punt it away. And I've been teaching him how to control the ball. I've been teaching him how to volley. He was trying to control the ball with the outside of his foot. I was like, no, bro, inside. And he's like, what? Can I stand on it? And I was like, no. It'll go under your
Well,
foot.
no.
mate. Inside.
You need to
inside.
you
bang.
need to tell him you can stand on it only if you're baiting the press in. But
Yeah.
we'll
but
save that for when he's
that's
6.
not when you receive the ball. That's when you're stood there. When you receive the ball, inside, out your feet, away, bang. So yeah, we're
Top
doing some
bins.
football training with him. It'll live up to his name and be Lionel Messi in no time.
It'll be a Lionel Messi regen.
yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Right.
How are you
Speaking
guys
of football. Speaking of football.
Speaking of football. Firstly, calm down. Right? Calm down. I know you've read the episode title. And no, you didn't misread it. Right? It's finally here.
Yes.
The big one.
Yes.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
After all this time, we're finally doing it. It's been building up. We're ready to explode. I can feel the anticipation in the room. Is that the absolute breaking point? It's the greatest football player of all time. We made it. We fucking made it.
Champions.
Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. That's to you, Vinny and Seb, fucking Arsenal fans. Anyway, we made it. We made it, everyone. We finally get to talk about it. Now, we all know how much the three of us love the footy. I myself am a self-professed super nerd when it comes to the beautiful game. And this week, I want to know from my two other football nerds, who is the greatest player of all time? Now, wait. I know what you're saying. I can hear the screaming crowd. Mork, we all know Messi is the GOAT. Yes, you are right. Messi is the GOAT. But he doesn't count for this episode. Because only candidates from this planet will be considered. And Messi is out of this world. All right? So with the ground rules out the way, this episode needs no more further introductions. Who wants to go first?
Also, can I just say, Michael won't say this because he's too proud, but we also agreed that Ronaldo also fitted into that bracket, but we'll, he can gloss over that if he wants to.
No, he's not. It's probably maybe top 5, maybe.
I mean, I'd love to go first, but Sebek, would you also love to go first? I don't know.
I would happily go second.
I'll go first then. I'll go
Vinny,
first.
it's over to you.
Give me my 40-minute timer.
Yep. Should I bother doing a timer?
To be honest, I haven't bothered doing a timer the past couple times. I think
I haven't. Well, I feel
we're
like
generally
getting
on time, as long as kind of.
I'll just keep it there ticking away.
Yeah,
I'll generally keep it. Yeah.
Right. So, GOAT footballer. I think we can all agree it's hard to be completely objective when it comes to who is the greatest footballer of all time, other than maybe Messi, because every role and every position that you can play on the pitch can just be so different from one another. Like, how can you compare a great goal scorer to a great goalkeeper or a great defender? Well, you can't really. So, my approach today was to try and find someone who could kind of maybe do everything, and do it in the most entertaining way, because at the bottom line is football, it's entertainment. We watch it to be entertained. And to me, there's nothing more exciting than a player who can dictate the entire game just by themselves. Of course, there have been quite a few players that fit the bill, but none have truly reached that level so consistently and with such class and swagger, ice-cold veins, as the great Italian regista, Andrea Pirlo. Yes.
I fucking love Andre. Do you know he's big into his wine?
Of course he is. He has his own
He's
vineyards.
big into... Yeah.
Sophisticated man.
He's got that long, wizard-like hair.
Can I just say, I'm not obviously going to say who I've picked, but I'm just going to say now that the footballer I've picked probably, I genuinely don't think could be further from Andrea Pirlo.
What, is he just not good?
Like, I just think when I say, no, he's very good, but when I say it, you're going to be like, yeah, one of them drinks wine, the other one drinks something else.
Yes.
Right. I'm excited to hear what that is.
The blood of his enemies. It's Suarez, isn't it? Drinks human flesh.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrea Pirlo.
Yes.
Pirlo would get his start for his boyhood club, Brescia, in the mid-90s as a teenager. From a young age, he displayed a remarkable technique on the ball, making him one of the most exciting up-and-coming Italian playmakers in the league. But at this point in time, he was playing further up the pitch in this sort of classic number 10 attacking midfielder role. Your Pele, your Maradona, your Messi, your Cruyff. And although he was undoubtedly a talented player creatively, like with the ball, he lacked the pace and the strength needed to keep up in that part of the field. And so later on, he was sold to Inter Milan. He'd go out on loan to a couple clubs over the coming years, but it wasn't until he returned on loan to his boyhood club Brescia, where he would actually go and play with his childhood hero, the legendary attacking midfielder Roberto Baggio.
Long hair as well.
Yeah, Wizards.
Missed the penalty.
Wizards of the Italian game.
Yeah, he did miss that penalty though.
Yeah, I don't know what penalty you're on about, but
It's like the World Cup final? Did he sky it? Yeah.
oh, did he?
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
final?
sad.
Like 80, 90, 90 something.
How do you know?
Was it Italian 90? Did he come second in Italian 90? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, it doesn't matter how good you are and how good your potential is. When Baggio is on your team, he is absolutely nailed on for that attacking midfielder role. So this posed a problem for then Brescia manager Carlo Mazzone. How does he keep his two most exciting creative players in the same starting lineup?
It's tricky.
Mazzone, he had the brilliant mind to drop Pirlo down into the base of the midfield to play super, super deep and had him operate as what's called a deep lying playmaker, or in Italy, what's called the regista role, which is Italian for director, because you kind of direct the entire game kind of thing.
Yeah. Get the ball from the centre backs, turn, look up, see where you're going.
Yeah, man. This would prove the most defining moment in Andrea Pirlo's career. As the deepest line midfielder, he could now see the entire pitch with perfect vision and would use his incredible technique to ping these incredibly beautiful passes to his teammates, all from a part of the pitch which had just a lot more space and room to operate and less pressure. So he didn't need to be super strong or didn't need to be super fast to keep running in between these players and stuff like that. He could kind of play casual, play his own game, and just play without the pressure. This new regista role would of course fit Pirlo like a glove, and soon after he would get a big money transfer to local rivals AC Milan.
Local rivals.
They are local rivals. Inter Milan and AC Milan. I've heard they've got a little thing going on between the two of them.
That's what I mean. It's so funny to call them local rivals though when they share the same stadium. Like local is like the same house.
Yeah.
Like my local rival in this neighborhood is my wife who lives in the same house. Like it's just funny.
Over the coming seasons for AC Milan, Pirlo would be an instrumental player in that AC Milan. No, I underlined it. That AC Milan side.
That AC Milan team you spoke about last week, Seb.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. In fact,
the early 2000s AC Milan.
Unfortunately, he did actually miss a penalty in the Istanbul final, didn't he?
Yeah, but come on. Like Seb said, that was just God looking down on Liverpool Football Club that night.
True. Well, yeah, over his career at AC Milan, he would win 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Serie A league titles, and an Italian Cup to boot. Sorry. That's the wrong word. Doesn't even write however. Anyway. So obviously he's smashing it. He's doing fantastically. The regista role is made for him. He's playing incredibly. By the way, I tried to get stats for this because I know, Mork, you fucking love your football stats. It was really hard to find stats, especially in the 2000s. Like no one
early
kept
2000 stats suck.
Yeah, it was
the best stats are from about 2009 onwards, 2010 onwards.
So I didn't really go for that. Although I did find a really interesting article by StatsBomb that did like
StatsBomb are the best ones for historical stats. They actually go through and manually watch all the games and add the stats in together. Yeah,
but even in that one, it didn't. I think it only started from like the 2010 season on to the 2014.
Yeah.
So like, you missed out a big chunk of his AC Milan career there.
Yeah,
but anyway.
But say about what you were going to say about the article.
Well, no, the article's a thing in the past. We're not talking about the article.
All right, fine. I wanted to hear the stats.
I mean, I could tell you the stats. Like something like he averaged about 13 long balls, 13 long balls per 90 over his entire career, with a success rate of like 80 to 90%, which is fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous. You told me the stat the other day about how like.
I misread it. I misread it. It wasn't through balls. It was long balls. So it's that stat doesn't apply.
Yeah, but what was it? Long balls. He did more long balls in one game than Chelsea have done all season.
No. Basically, I think it was some video I found that said like in the 02-03 season he completed over 660 long balls over that season, which is fucking ridiculous. But yeah, don't worry about the thing about Chelsea. That was just turned out to be complete bollocks. So don't worry.
You got watch mojoed by a stat. Never mind.
No, I just misread long through ball as long ball. I misread long ball as through ball. But anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
Andrea Pirlo. It's the 2000s. He gets called up to the Italian national side for the 2006 World Cup in Germany. Pirlo would play every game for them at this tournament, earning the most man of the match awards out of anyone in that year's edition of the World Cup. And his no-look pass, which was curled in by Fabio Grosso in the dying minutes of the game against hosts Germany, secured Italy's place in the final, which, as we all know, they won.
One of the funniest things, sorry, I just love it. Like World Cup stats are always so underwhelming. Like it was so funny. It's always like, he scored the most goals anyone's ever scored in a tournament with 3. And you're like, oh, 3. Oh my God. Because like obviously it's not that long. So like it doesn't like it'd be like, he's got the most man of the match awards at any tournament with 2. And you're like, oh God, how does he do it?
I think you're like 4, which is pretty insane when you only play like
that's obviously
6 games. Yeah.
7-8 games, isn't it? It's 3 games in the group stage. Last 16 quarters.
Back then semis, it was quarters, semis, final.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It didn't expand to 32 teams until 2014.
Who's the most goals in a World Cup? 9, isn't it?
In one World Cup?
In one World Cup is that French guy.
Just Fontaine.
Just Fontaine with 11, something like that.
He scored all his World Cup goals in one tournament and then just never played for France ever again, I think. It's fucking nuts. But it's closer with the most. I think 16 goals over
15.
And then Ronaldo's. Are you sure it's not 15? I thought Ronaldo was 15. Ronaldo 14. And Nazario.
Closest 15. Yeah.
Getting into semantics here. Anyway, no look passes.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful. Pirlo's no look
2006
passes.
as well.
2006.
Before Bobby Firmino.
Pirlo's no-look passes became a staple of his play over his career and helped solidify him as one of the slickest and coolest motherfuckers to ever play ball. In Italy, he was nicknamed L'Architetto, or the Architect, and for good reason.
Does he, when he no-look passes, does he do the Ronaldinho, like turns his head completely the other way, or does he just do it more casual?
Everything he does is just casual. Everything he does is like, I could do that so easily. Watching him play is like, I could do all of that so easily. The way he's so casually doing it, and then you realize, no, you fucking can't.
Yeah, you would love Pirlo. He's like he is the classiest. Like, he's one of those where like he's got great stats and all this, but he's one of those players where when you actually just watch him play,
it's a thing of beauty.
Fuck. Yeah, like just watching him play is so nice. He's silky smooth pass, weight, perfection. Like everything is perfect. Yeah. About watching Pirlo. He reminds me. Well, someone who reminds me of Pirlo in that sense is Thiago Alcantara. He is a player who like never really shines stats wise. He's always injured. But when you watch him play a game, you're like, fuck, this guy's so good. Like the passes he makes, the tackles he makes last ditch, like he always puts up a great game. Like he's one of those players, every game he plays that you watch, he'll be fantastic and go under the radar. Pirlo's similar to that, but another level above.
Oh yeah, Pirlo. I mean, he has the stats. From the stats I did see, he fucking definitely has the stats to back it all up as well. But yeah, I think you summed up this paragraph I'm about to say anyway pretty well. So the way he would place the perfect long pass or dribble around his opponent time after time in the most casual and ice-cold manner was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The aura this man had on the football pitch, this ultra-cool and suave magician or artist whose every brushstroke was just another reason to fall in love with the beautiful game, that's the thing I remember mostly from watching him play as a kid.
Yeah.
His final goal for Milan would be indicative of this playing style. A casual 40-yard strike which no goalkeeper could ever reach. Gets placed perfectly in between the crossbar and the post. And it was it was the best way to end his illustrious career at AC Milan.
How old was he when he left AC?
Well, Milan, sensing that the now 32-year-old was probably not going to give too much more years on the pitch. I mean, 30 is typically when footballers start to go downhill, and it can't really go back up from there normally.
It was then anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
even now you hit 30,
so.
you've got a black mark against you.
I mean, Casemiro at 32, and he looks shagged.
He's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just depends who you are. Yeah.
It depends who you are, because I do think, like, I always find it mad when you realise, like, Beckham retired at, like, was he 34?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you're like, Jesus Christ.
But remember, some of these players, like Beckham was playing first team football at like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Pirlo was playing first team football from 18 onwards.
I know, Pirlo's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
So then he also does have that, he's like playing a deep role. He's probably not getting tackled that much.
Well, yeah. I'll go on to say this. So, yeah, Milan, they've got Andrea Pirlo. He's a legend at the club, but he's 32, so they don't think he's going to give much left. They don't think he's got much left to give in the game, so they decide against negotiating a new contract for him. So Pirlo would find himself without a club. Italian giants Juventus decided to take a punt on a veteran playmaker, and signed him for free in 2011. Now, this might just be the greatest free transfer of all fucking time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm just saying right now, it is the greatest free transfer of all time. Because also, they had just come off the back of the relegation, hadn't they? Juventus.
That was like 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
they just made their way back up.
Pretty much. I don't think they'd won a league title since returning to Serie A.
Yeah, I think they kind of were rebuilding, weren't they?
Yeah, so they had to rebuild from being relegated, and all of their players, bar Buffon and Del Piero, staying. All of their other players left. They hadn't won a league title. They're not in a very good way. So taking a punt on a free, like, middle-aged Andre Pirlo is like,
what's the worst
it's a bit of a risk when you're rebuilding, but what's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
Well,
what's the best that can happen?
Well, yeah, exactly. Pirlo still had a lot left to give. True, not a lot of footballers tend to have much left in them once they hit that ripe old age of 30, but that's usually because football involves a hell of a lot of running around and physical battles, which do tend to age people's muscles and ligaments and joints and whatnot. But Milan forgot one thing. Pirlo wasn't aggressive. Pirlo doesn't run. His game would age as beautifully as his perfectly coiffed hair and beard, as he would be the star player in that Juventus side, which would win 4 consecutive Serie A titles. And yes, I am in love with Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah.
4.
I must say, I think
4.
he's fit too. Well, they won 9, beautiful. But 4 when he was there.
Yeah. 4 consecutive as well. Pirlo would even go on to win 3 consecutive Italian Footballer of the Year awards from 2012 to 2014, proving that the twilight of his career was probably his greatest years.
Yeah.
The architect would end his Italian club playing.
What about you didn't mention the 2011 season.
Well, what about it in particular?
They went unbeaten in the league.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, they went invincible the entire fucking season with him as a star player. Yeah, I forgot about that.
They nearly went invincible. They weren't. Were they not in?
They
Europe?
lost.
I can't remember.
Because obviously I was a bit of a Juve supporter around this time, which is hence why I became in love with Pirlo. I watched a lot of Pirlo. I didn't manage to watch a single game of Juventus that entire season, except for the Coppa Italia final, where they lost 2-0 to fucking Lazio, and that ended their unbeaten streak.
But I don't think they were in Europe, so they didn't have a Europe push. But yeah, they only lost one game that year, which was the Coppa Italia final.
Yeah, that's the one fucking game I watched.
Yeah, I can't even mention they went unbeaten. They went invincible, and Pirlo was their star player.
I can't believe I forgot
That's
to
how
mention
fucking good he is at like 33, however old he was.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's so much more of his game I didn't even mention. Like, I didn't even mention his free kicks. Dude could fucking take
his free kicks.
Any type of free kick possible. He could whip a perfect ball in for someone to get on the end of it, or he could fucking knuckleball that fucker to the top bins, and the keeper has no way of getting it. Do you remember that free kick against England in the Euros against Joe Hart? And he fucking knuckleballed at like a 35-yarder, and it swayed in the air, and Joe Hart was not getting to that. It just managed to hit the crossbar, and then obviously you get that iconic moment where Joe Hart screams at the ball boy, "Hey, give me that fucking ball!" Hey! And he's like screaming at him.
He boots the fucking boarding, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
the hoarding.
freaking out.
Yeah.
One of my favourite things from like aging footballers is when you watch like an aging footballer like just pull it out of the top locker occasionally. But it's that kind of, you have that moment of like, why aren't you doing that all of the time? Like I watched a video recently. I was going through watching like where, you know, those compilations where it's like when the assist is better than the goal. And I watched like a fucking 39-year-old Giorgio Chiellini do an outside of the boot, like swerving fucking cross it for like whatever LA Galaxy, whoever he's playing for. And you're just like, why aren't you, what is that? Like, why, how can you, and like, he clearly looks like a bit annoyed. Like he just like the ball like lands at his feet and he just like walks up to it kind of pissed off and just fucking swazzes it outside of the boot towards the goal. And this guy goes, you're like, how are you, like, what is that? Like,
it's because they've got it in the locker, haven't they? But they can't, like, they haven't got the legs to be pulling that off every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's not
much. Yeah,
it's like that story about Balotelli getting pissed off in training and like doing like a 45-yard half volley into his own goal and then walking off. You heard about that?
Balotelli's a fucking maverick. We should cover him on this podcast one day.
He's unbelievable.
I hope you've picked Balotelli, Seb.
I haven't picked Balotelli, although I could have, because he is fucking. He was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The architect would end his Italian club playing career in 2014 and retired to the MLS for his last 2 years, before finally retiring from his entire playing career in 2017 at the ripe age of 38. That's 20 years playing the game. That is consistency.
Okay, no.
To end my presentation on my favourite player of all time, Andrea Pirlo, I'd like to share a couple great stories about the man. So the first being, during his first season at Juventus, there was actually a period of a few games where he had sprained his right knee, and that's his preferred foot. He's a right footer. He was finding himself in a lot of pain when striking the ball with his right leg. So instead of taking some time out to recover and heal, like most normal people would, he would instead carry on playing, but only with his left foot. And I watched all the clips. We watched all the clips where it's every touch he took, and he's just as good with his left as he is with his right. He was pinging these beautiful diagonal balls left, right, and centre.
Yeah. And like get the ball on the turn on the centre circle, like let it run across his body and just like whip it round to like the winger, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's just not fair. Secondly, when Boateng moved to AC Milan in the 2000s, he was very vocal in training, always yelling when he found himself in space. After his first week there, Pirlo took him to one side and basically just told him to be quiet when he's on the pitch. Boateng, confused, as we all know, it's pretty good practice to be very communicative and yell like, I'm free, so everyone knows.
Yeah.
So we asked him what he meant by that. Pirlo would explain, if you shout, the defender will know that you're free. If you're free, I will see you.
I will see you. That's the quote. If you're free, I will see you.
The fucking ice cold, mate. There's nothing.
The balls.
The balls. Like Andre Pirlo just had that insane amount of self-confidence and swagger, and he was very right. He's not like Ronaldo, where it's like coming from a place of insecurity.
Yeah, he's
like,
not
I have to be the best, or else what's the point? He is just like, I know I'm the best, and I am. So what are you gonna fucking do about it? Yeah, exactly. I love Pirlo, and
there's one thing you didn't mention though, which also shows how cool
many things I didn't mention, but carry on.
Euro 2016
wasn't it 2012?
Oh, it's Euro 2012.
It was
Panenka
in that England game against Joe Hart, penalty shootout. He has to score to keep Italy in. He fucking runs up, just casually chips the ball slowly down the middle. Joe Hart gets sent the wrong way.
Yeah.
He fucking looks a mug. He just walks off like,
It's probably the coolest Panenka I've ever seen. It just goes like,
It was like in the semis, wasn't it? Or the quarters of the Euros? Yeah, like to do that is just ice cold.
Cold.
Have you seen the Dan Panenka
cold.
where he like takes it off the bar?
No, this isn't off the bar. This isn't power. This is just like, It's almost like he's like cheeky about it. He's like, oh.
Yeah, it's so dainty, which is like,
He's like, I could smash this in top bins, but I could also just go, because I'm that good. Doop, kick it, poop, sorry.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cheeky.
There's this, so I obviously did a lot of research watching loads of videos on Andre Pirlo. There was this one where it kind of talked about his characteristics, playing style on the pitch, and one of the things he would often do is when he'd intercept the ball, he'd often pass the ball with his interception, kind of doing two things with one, kind of keeping the game flowing and trying to gain as much advantage from that interception as possible. And there was one moment, I think it was for AC Milan, where the ball was coming towards his goal and he managed to run and intercept it. And he did this like half-turn intercept long ball down the wing, to which like his teammates almost got a goal from it because it was like the perfectly weighted pass. It's something you'd see in like a video game, like in FIFA. You know how like everyone's, if you're good at the game, you're like, everyone's just ridiculously good and they can just do these half-turn fucking top bins or whatever. He actually could do that shit in real life. And it's even crazy. In the video, it just said like, this is insane. Like it just said in text like, by the way, this is just fucking insane.
Yeah. You don't know how good this is.
But yeah, that's Andre Pirlo, the architect, the maestro, the metronome, as he was known in AC Milan. And he is my pick for the greatest footballer of all time.
It's a great show. Wow.
That is, I fucking love Andre Pirlo. I have a lot to say about Andre Pirlo. He is just one of the most beautiful players to watch. Like he's what makes it the beautiful game. Something else which is really cool, which I always think, you're a great player. Well, not always. Sometimes you're an absolute shit player if this happens, but most of the time you're a fantastic player if you get players named after you.
Oh yeah.
For instance, the Montenegrin Messi, Stefan Jovic, right? But you've also got the Welsh Pirlo, Joe Allen, who is not good, but he's got long hair and he plays the same position.
Yorkshire Pirlo.
But people thought he was going to be good. The Yorkshire Pirlo, Calvin Phillips, again, rubbish, but the thought process is there. The thing is, with the naming after, whoever the something Messi is always going to be shit. But there's a point where you think they're going to be that good, so you call them the something Messi or the Yorkshire Pirlo, or the only one is Foden. He's the Stockport Iniesta, and so far so good. But there's still time for that dip. You never live up to the name.
Croydon De Bruyne, yeah.
Croydon De Bruyne. Yeah, like you never live up to the name.
Wasn't that
But Pirlo
Smith
has
Rowe?
made that mark.
Yeah, Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe is the Croydon De Bruyne, which obviously he's not lived up to just yet.
Yeah, exactly. It always happens. You never do it. It never works. Like that's why I predict Foden to just die. But
also, no one's still calling him the Stockport Iniesta. That's the thing. Now he's just Phil Foden.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, he's now his own name.
yeah, but like it's really cool. Like, but who are we talking about? The something Iniesta, the something Messi, the something Pirlo. That's how fucking good you are. I also heard a story about, I think it was Gary Neville was talking about how like he went to a youth tournament or something like that, and it was like under 15 or whatever, and they were like Italy, who are like, they didn't know any of the players. They're like, these guys are shit. And then this one guy came on and was just like, wait, he's not playing for the men's team? Like he's like annihilating the whole tournament. They've just won the tournament off this one guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, that's Andrea Pirlo. He's probably going to be quite good. And they were like, oh my god, this guy might be the greatest player ever. Like he's ruined this youth tournament at like 14 or 15 or something crazy like that. So Pirlo's incredible. World Cup winner. Did he? No, he's not won the Euros.
He basically won everything but a Ballon d'Or and the Euros. That's the only two things he never won.
Yeah, he's been in loads of teams of the year. I remember that time at Juve was also when Barcelona was smashing it, and quite often in like the FIFA Pro Team of the Year, you'd just have like it'd be all Real Madrid, all Barcelona, and Pirlo, and you're like, nice.
Yeah,
Pirlo should be in there. He's that good.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that his career finished at the end of AC Milan at 32, but then actually he got better. His best bit of his career was actually not at AC Milan. It was probably at Juve.
Yeah.
Between when they 32
when they
to
built
like
the
37
team,
or whatever.
They built the team around him and were like, you are the star player.
That's it. He was the best player in that team. A team that had a young Paul Pogba, Marquisio,
Vidal,
Del Piero,
Chiellini,
Arturo Vidal,
Bonucci.
Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli.
Marquisio,
A 33-year-old Pirlo was by far and away their best player, who they got for free because he was too old. It's nuts.
Did Pirlo ever play with Ronaldo? Or did they miss each other?
They missed each other.
Quite a few years, yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
He retired in 2015. Yeah.
Pirlo left in 2015, Juve, yeah. Pirlo, wow. That's a great shout, because I fucking love Pirlo. And he's underappreciated. He doesn't get spoken about enough as the greats, as the goats, but he is a goat for sure. He's a goat. Is he the goat of tonight's episode? Don't know, but he's a goat. Anyway, it's now time for I'm most excited about this. It's Mork's super epic footy quiz. Cue the jingle. No, son, can't use copyright. Gary Lineker will come in and slap me. Now, this football quiz is reasonably tricky, right?
Shit.
To put it into perspective, I wrote all these questions knowing all the answers as I wrote them, and I still think it's hard.
For fuck's sake.
But they are all Premier League or Champions League related. There's no weird, obscure stat things or anything like that, all right? So you should be fine. But I'm going to throw in a wild card here, because this is a football show, episode, podcast. This is the football podcast now.
Yes.
So you take it in turns to answer the questions as normal. But if you get the answer wrong, let's say Seb's going to take the first question. If Seb gets it wrong, Vinny can go on the counter attack. He can get him on the break. If Vinny then gives me the correct answer within like a couple of seconds, rapid fire, he can get a bonus point, and vice versa. So if your opponent gets the question wrong and you then give me the right answer within a few seconds, you fucking got him on the break. Okay?
Okay, I'm with you.
For extra points. So someone could walk away with a lot of points here and dominate the other team, or it could be 50-50, might have to go to pens. But let's see. So Seb, over to you for question 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Who is the all-time Europa League top goal scorer?
Fucking hell, really?
I know this one.
I don't know. Who that team that always win? Oh fuck, I don't know. Who's the team that always wins the Europa League?
I don't know.
No, come on, you got to help me a bit. Jesus
No, you
Christ.
don't.
I don't know. Immobile. Is it Immobile?
No, Vinny, on the break.
Lukaku.
No.
No! I thought it was Lukaku. I say it was Lukaku
No.
a couple seasons ago.
No, it was Radamel Falcao for a very long time. Until this season, when, and I can't believe neither of you got this, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Who's he play for? Marseille?
Playing for Marseille right now. He's played for AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, and Arsenal in the Europa League.
Dortmund in the Europa League. That feels weird. Fair. I genuinely thought it was Lukaku.
No, not Lukaku. He's one of the higher scorers, but no, it
Have you
is
seen those
Pierre.
pictures of Lukaku playing at youth level where he's like 10 times bigger than everyone else and his mum used to have to take his birth certificate to
Are
get
they
him?
real? I'm sure one of them was fake because it was in like the newest kit. And I was like, well, that can't be. He would have been at Anderlecht like 15 years ago.
He was a grown ass man at 14, wasn't he? So funny.
Well, there we go. Question 1 out of the way. Vinny, question 2. Are you ready? Who has won the most English top flight titles but is not currently playing in the Premier League?
Are they
feel
still an
like-
active player?
No. Club. So like Manchester United and Liverpool have won the most English top flights. Then it's like Arsenal, Villa. But who in that list has won the most but isn't playing in the Premier League? So it could be fucking Ipswich, you know.
Oh,
Think of
sorry,
it historically
club.
big club.
This is a
Club,
club.
not player. Club, club.
Sorry, a club that's won the most English top division league titles who's not in the Premier League right
Yeah.
now.
Right
Okay.
now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I thought you were talking about like a player.
So that narrows it down because there's a lot of big historical clubs. Nottingham Forest, Derby County, all these teams.
Derby County.
Preston North End. It's none of them, but those kind of teams.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Wanderers.
Bolton Wanderers.
No, Wanderers. I recently watched a video on Blackburn Rovers being like English champions and then basically completely bowed out. And it was like, I
It's
don't
not
know.
Blackburn Rovers. No.
No,
Seb,
Wanderers,
on the break.
But carry on.
I was going to say Blackburn.
No.
Norwich.
No. Sunderland with 6.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. Tied with Chelsea with 6.
This is a much harder quiz than I was anticipating. I warned you more. I said general. This isn't general.
This is general.
General's like who's won the most World Cups, you know. General's like
but we just be right. Come on, you want to rack
no,
your
because
brain a bit.
Sebek wouldn't get half of these. I'd get most of them, I swear.
Right, well, let's just try this next one, okay?
Yeah.
2014, Messi became the Champions League top scorer with 72 goals. But whose record did he overtake? So who was the Champions League top scorer before Messi overtook him? And they were the top scorer for quite a long time. A long time. So it's not Ronaldo. I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. Played for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I know who it is.
It's you to answer, Seb.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you to answer.
Oh, it's Figo, I think.
It's not Figo. Vinny.
Raul?
It's Raul.
Yes, I knew it. Mr. Madrid. Mr. Real
Finally
Madrid.
got on the break. Bang. See, you knew that. Seb, that's fucking close to Figo. That was a great shout. Vinny. Mm-hmm. Now, this is an Arsenal question.
Oh,
Sort of. Rank these 3 players in order of most Premier League goals scored.
okay.
Giroud, Bergkamp,
Okay.
Emmanuel Adebayor. So 1, 2, 3. Who scored more?
Adebayor, what a fucking it's the spanner in the works. Fucking, I wasn't thinking fucking Adebayor. Sorry, Dennis Bergkamp, Adebayor, and
Olivier Giroud.
Olivier Giroud.
I'll give 1 point to each correct placement.
I think.
And then Seb, if he gets ones wrong, you can get a correct placement, potentially.
I think Bergkamp started playing for Arsenal in like 96. I want to say around then. I think he came in before, like, your Henry and your Vieira and whatnot. And then obviously retired from Arsenal, like, from 2006, something like that.
These are Premier League goal scorers, right? So obviously Giroud's played for Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah, and then
Giroud's played for everyone.
Giroud played a few years for Chelsea and a few years for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Adebayor played for Arsenal and Spurs and maybe someone else. Oh, God, this is quite tricky. I'm going to say number 1, I'm going to go with Olivier Giroud. Number 2, I'm going to go with Adebayor. Then number 3, I'm going to go Dennis Bergkamp. I'm probably really wrong, but...
I've just realised on the break doesn't work on this question. You only got one right.
I got one right.
Oh, you got one right. So go on then, Seb. You give me yours. You got one right.
I was going to say, I think it's... I think it's Adebayor, then Giroud, then Bergkamp.
Seb got them all right.
Oh, no.
It is Adebayor, Giroud, and Bergkamp.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Vinny 1 point for his. I'm gonna give Seb 3 for his.
All played.
Because I was thinking, shit, if I say you got Bergkamp right, all Seb's got to do is swap the other two. But he did it without any clue. So
I mean, it was a clue that I got one right. I will say that's still a clue. But
it could have been number 1.
That was my. I was going to do that anyway. Like, I had that in my head.
So, Seb.
Yeah.
Question number 5. This one's for you.
Yes.
Can you name the 2 players who have recorded 10 goals, 10 or more goals, and 10 or more assists in 5 different Premier League seasons? So they scored 10 goals and got 10 assists in 5 separate seasons, 10 or more.
I know that Mo Salah is
Premier League players who have done it.
Mo Salah is one of them, and I'm going to say Thierry Henry for the second.
Salah is 1, so you're going to get 1 point. Thierry Henry is not the second. Vinny, on the break.
Bukayo Saka.
Oh,
no.
Frank Lampard. Is it Frank Lampard?
It's Wayne Rooney.
Fair. Yeah, I just because I heard some stat not too long ago about Saka getting some equal amount of goals and assists as Salah or something along those lines. But I was a bit off.
Yeah, it's Salah because Salah's just become the first player to do it in 3 consecutive seasons.
Okay,
but he and Rooney have done it in 5.
I said that the other day, actually.
Yeah, that's why it popped into my head. Who is the only player to have won the Champions League with 3 different teams?
This fucking was one of the questions.
There's only one player who's ever done it. I can give you... I know all the teams they've done it with.
And you're not going to give them to me?
Do you want... Should I give him some for a clue?
I think the thing is...
Bit of a clue. I don't know.
I'll give you the first.
Sorry.
You try if you want.
Okay, I'll try without any clues. But Sebek doesn't get any fucking clues either. Okay. Right. Okay. And you can't say how many were right either.
No. One clue is it was not that. It wasn't like it's not very recent history. So obviously Champions League. So it's after 1992. Yeah. But it's not like Ronaldo.
Right.
It's you think 2005 to 2010, 12 maybe.
It's quite specific. Okay, 3 different teams won the Champions
League. Between 2000
League.
and 2012, something like that. I don't know when they stopped playing, but they are retired.
I think I know who I think it is.
Okay, let me think. So teams who've won the Champions League somewhat recently, it'd be like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, obviously.
This isn't that recent, though.
Yeah. Goodness me, I know.
I think who was winning the Champions League in the early 2000s?
I don't know. I didn't watch football in the early 2000s. Probably an Italian team. Okay, so I know someone who's won 2 Champions Leagues back to back with 2 different teams.
Who's that?
Well, that was Samuel Eto'o. Famously, the only player to win 2 trebles back to back with 2 different teams.
It's not Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah, don't shake your head. Don't stop giving me clues. I'm just trying to spitball ideas. Goodness. So he probably played for an Italian side.
Can I ask a question that will make it easier for Vinny, but just to prove? Cause I don't know.
Well, if you know the answer, you can wow us with your incredible knowledge.
I don't know if I do know the answer, but I think I know something.
I'm gonna go with, I don't know, Kaká. Probably. Nah, it's not him, but Kaká. Fuck it.
It's close.
Oh,
It's
I think I know who it is.
reasonably
I
close.
think I know who it is now. Fuck. Oh, no.
They're Brazilian, aren't they?
They're not Brazilian.
Oh, thank fuck. Whew.
They're not Brazilian.
thought it
Oh,
was,
I have
Ronaldinho.
literally no idea. I thought it was R9 or Ronaldinho. I don't know.
No.
So is that it? What's the answer?
That's it. We actually spoke about him last week. It's Clarence Seedorf.
Oh,
I wouldn't have
Ajax,
got
would
that.
never got
AC
that.
Milan, Real Madrid.
I was actually thinking Ajax in
Never.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
never thought that.
Ajax, AC Milan, Real Madrid.
Nice.
Seb,
Yes.
Liverpool won the Champions League for a 6th time in 2019. Fucking hell, that's a lot.
Fluke.
But fuck off.
The COVID Cup.
Well, that wasn't COVID, was it? That was when we beat Barcelona 4-0. So they won the Champions League for the 6th time in 2019, but which 2 players in the Liverpool squad had already won the Champions League for another club? So there were 2 players in that Liverpool squad who'd previously already won the Champions League.
Oh God. When was the year? 2020 what? 20.
19.
Fuck hell, I've got no idea.
He's a hard man.
I don't
These
even
are
know
hard.
any.
I honestly wrote these from, I was like, think of a question. I didn't want to look up
Okay,
questions. I was like,
right.
think of a question. I know
I've
the
got
answer.
one-
That's it.
I think I've got. Is one of them Thiago from Bayern Munich?
No. You've got one more guess.
Oh my God.
I was trying to think who even played for Liverpool in that 2019 side.
Oh. Oh, is it Oh, is it your French man? Is he French? Is one of them French?
No.
I don't know. I was going to say
French and
Origi.
played for Liverpool.
Is
Origi?
Origi?
Origi's Belgian. And no, Origi's
I
never
don't
won the
know.
Champions League other than that year. Vinny, can you get him on the break? Quick, you've had all this time?
No, I can't. I can't think who it might
Okay.
be.
You're going to kick yourself. Daniel Sturridge.
He played for Liverpool in 2019.
Yeah, and he won the Champions League with Chelsea.
He won the Champions League with... I didn't know either of those things.
No, I know.
I'm not going to kick myself with any of these, am I?
And the other one was one of my favourite players of all time, Xherdan Shaqiri.
Oh, for God's sake.
What miscellaneous players?
Won the Champions League with Bayern Munich in 2012 or 2013 when they beat Borussia Dortmund at Wembley.
I don't think I've thought about Shaqiri since about 2019.
Shaqiri's got the biggest calves in history.
Yeah.
He's an absolutely unreal player. Seb might have actually won this quiz, but
Just because of that 1 3-point.
I gotta admit, there's not been a ton of right answers, but there we go. Vinny,
This is a bad
the last
quiz.
question is over to you. It's a great quiz. Come on, this has been
If we
great.
can't even
Racking
answer
your
the
brain.
questions, it's not a good quiz.
Racking your brain, though.
Okay, yeah, go on.
You might get. I think you get this. This is probably the easiest one on the thing.
Go on.
Sir Alex Ferguson is one of the greatest managers of all time.
Hmm.
But which club did he manage before Manchester United?
I know.
Was it Aberdeen?
It was Aberdeen.
Yes.
Correct.
Did he win 2 European Cups with Aberdeen?
He won the European Cup Winners' Cup and the European Super Cup or something, yeah. But this is in like 86, 85, so
thought he won the
European
normal-
competitions were weird.
I thought that he won the normal European Cup at least once.
They're all called weird names, though,
Right. Okay.
so I don't
It'd be
know.
like the European Players' Cup, Winners' Cup, Winners'
Yeah.
Trophy.
It's actually
He won something.
his career is actually when you think about it, it's fucked up. He did incredible with Aberdeen. Who's like who the fuck are
He won
Aberdeen
3
FC?
league titles of Aberdeen.
Yeah, who the fuck are Aberdeen? Like as a football club, I've never heard of them since. And then went straight to Man United, where he just had probably the most dominant 15 years at a club that anyone's ever had. Like
Yeah,
consistently
he never finished
dominant.
below third.
That is
Jesus
ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think the quiz was a roaring success.
I bet you fucking do. You knob.
Did you write that?
No, I didn't write that. I just thought about that. I honestly didn't think it was that hard. I thought
What are
these
you
are
talking
generally
about?
quite hard.
Shaqiri, who the fuck is Shaqiri?
Shout out Shaqiri. He scored 2 goals against Manchester United when we beat them. Jose Mourinho, he got sacked
The thing
after
is,
that.
Mork, I don't watch Liverpool FC every week. You do. I don't
that
know
one
these
was a
players.
bit biased.
Well, I could tell you
I
some
didn't-
stats about Maitland-Niles, but you won't fucking know. Who the fuck's Maitland-Niles? In it? Who the fuck
I know
is he?
Maitland-Niles is.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that Sturridge played for Chelsea, still playing for Liverpool in 2019. I didn't know either of those things. That's completely new to me.
I actually didn't know he played for Chelsea. I didn't know he played for Chelsea either.
He won the Champions League with them in 2012 when they beat Bayern Munich in the final. You know, Drogba. Ryan Bertrand
you're right.
played like left back in that game. Ryan Bertrand's got a fucking Champions League medal. He got relegated with Southampton last year.
Who's Southampton?
The Raul one, that was an easy one.
Yeah, that was the only one where I was like, I feel like it's probably Raul because I just
Yeah.
heard he is Mr.
Okay,
Champions
the
League.
sealed off one was hard.
They were all hard.
Yeah, they were pretty tricky. Anyway,
Does anyone want to come round for my super? You know, I want to do this big football quiz. Do you guys still want to do it? Or?
Not anymore. I thought it was going to be fun stuff like who's scored the most goals in the Premier League. Oh, it's Alan Shearer. Who's...
Yeah,
Yeah, because we both know the answer to that.
yeah.
I know, but like normal people, like if I asked Lucy who scored the most Premier League goals, she'd say, I don't know.
Yeah, but I know your level of knowledge, so I was like, right, it can't be like who's Real Madrid's all-time top goal scorer or any, it's got to be in the middle.
I think for me at least, I don't know what you said, like, but like I loved football when I was a kid, and then I stopped paying attention to football for like 6 years. In the teenies, and then only it was the 2018 World Cup that brought me back into football. So all my ball knowledge is from the past few years because I've also completely forgotten what football was like when I was 10. I only have these kind of glimpses of Pirlo and like Fabregas and like them being
100%.
great.
I exactly the same. Like I watched football with my dad from like when I was a kid to probably when I was about 6 or 7. Like we used to go around to neighbours and I remember watching Ronaldinho and R9 and Kaká and those guys. And then a big gap where I just told people I supported Arsenal but didn't really know what was going on. I vaguely knew about
Yesterday.
Santi Cazorla and Giroud and fucking, I don't know. I literally don't.
I didn't watch that much football, but the other day I did try and test myself to see if I can name every Champions League winner from 2005 to today, and I think I got them all right.
Do you know what? Actually, I do have autism for the World Cup because
your World Cup knowledge is crazy.
I weirdly can name
better than mine,
I can
definitely.
name every winner of the World Cup from every year. I'm actually weirdly good at it. I don't know why.
Well, Baggio missed the penalty in the final in '94 against Brazil.
94.
I checked,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brazil did win it that year,
Funny.
didn't they? Yeah.
and it was funny.
And again in 2002.
Well, there we go. That was Mork's super epic footy quiz. It was good, despite what the audience say. If you got
What everyone listening has to say about it.
Everyone listening, if you got any of those answers correct, please tell me.
I mean,
Anyway,
listening, and no one's going to have got them right, so it's going to be 0 people regardless.
They weren't that hard.
They were impossible.
It wasn't like who put up 11.6 XG but only scored 8 goals last season. That would be fucking hard.
Darwin Nunez.
I think you have a very warped perception of what's a difficult question in football.
Sorry, I'm a nerd, okay? Sorry.
It's stuff that happened recently. I'm way more likely to get it. If you're like, who put up a high XG but didn't score last season, I'll have a think and be like, well,
It's a guess, isn't it? It was like the 2014 thing. That's recent, 2014?
10 years ago.
2019? Salah broke that record like yesterday. Like, you know.
Anyway, right, come on.
Come on
Hand it
then,
over.
Seb. Let's have it.
Did Seb win, by the way?
Yes.
By a point.
Oh, okay.
A win's a win, mate.
Yeah.
Wins a win.
I feel like no one won that quiz.
Especially
Do you
not
know
the
who
audience.
definitely didn't win? The audience. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
look,
I won that quiz.
over to me.
I like
Shall I do my bit?
Yeah, if you want.
Go on. If you
So,
want.
look,
He's not going to be at PLO.
obviously, we're all having to think about
Might pick Messi.
the greatest football. And obviously, we decided we weren't picking Messi or Ronaldo, and that made things a little bit more
I'd
different.
have allowed Ronaldo, I reckon. He's not that good.
So I had to start thinking about what football means to me and like what a great footballer is. And to me, football's about like moments, about spectacle. You know, I think I like football for the stories. I like kids from favelas, you know, leading their nation to glory. I like teams you've never heard of defeating giants in like big shocks. You know, Saudi Arabia beating Argentina 2-1 at the World Cup. Like, I don't like Saudi Arabia particularly, but that was fucking nuts. That was insane.
Yeah, my brother lives in Saudi, and the king issued a day off the day after. Like everyone in Saudi Arabia got a day off after they beat
You know what's
Argentina.
funny is, it's funny though, because losing that first game probably helped them win the tournament.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Because they were like, well, we can't do this and we can't do that, and you can't play. We got to change it. And they changed it and they got so much better. It's interesting how it goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love that stuff. I like the sort of the inexplicable, implausible stories you could never make up. It was in a film, you'd never believe it. The odds are too ridiculous. But because we play so much football and there's so much happening all at once, you get these moments, these 1 in a million things happen. And it's just like, holy fuck. Like, I love that. And for me, great players are the ones that make those moments happen. You know, those times where you're like, fuck, this is insane. You know, when they take the weight of their club or their country on their shoulders, when it really counts. And this is really funny because when we talked about this last week, you were both like, oh, you're going to pick Neymar. And I did, like, when I was like in my teens, the only football I cared about was Neymar. I used to watch the videos of him at Santos. I thought he was ridiculous. You know, he played with this like flair and arrogance and like just the attitude I thought was incredible. But he's never had that last like 1% that makes you a GOAT, I think. You know, he's definitely had moments, but he's never had the moment where he took the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I talked about this with Mork. I messaged him the other day. I said, I don't, you know, this is a weird one. Like, it's not necessarily your ability just as a player, but your ability to step up that I think is what makes you a really great player. Like, I think that's what makes someone like, you know, Modric, who is incredible and his longevity is incredible. He's fucking 39 and he's still playing at the highest level. But those times where he stepped up for Croatia, when he's been like the only good player on the pitch and he's dragged them to like semi-finals and quarterfinals, and you know, you're like, what the fuck, this is ridiculous. And it's that death stare when players, you know, you see the glaze in their eyes and you think, fucking hell, he's gone like Super Saiyan, like he's lighting up now, like Gerrard in Istanbul. And I don't think Neymar's ever done that. And I said this to Mark, I don't think Kane's ever done it either. Unfortunately, I don't think Kane has that. Like the other day, when I've talked about this one before, but there's that thing in the 2016 Euros where it was Spain versus Portugal, and Portugal had to draw to come third in their group to go into the playoffs to get back into the main tournament, and it was 3-2 to Spain, and they had like an 85th minute free kick, and Ronaldo stepped up to take it, and I remember thinking, this is going to go in, like he's going to score this, because that's the kind of player he is. Whereas when Kane stepped up against fucking France in the World Cup, I remember thinking, for that second penalty, I remember thinking he might miss this. And I didn't film it because I was filming all the reactions to like chances, and I didn't film it because I thought he's going to miss, and he did. And it's that kind of like that difference that I think makes you a GOAT. Anyway, I've blabbered on about it for far too long. But I wanted to pick a player who has all of what I've talked about. The spectacle, the big game energy, the ability to take the weight of the world on your shoulders, and most importantly, the story, the narrative, the thing that makes football go round, the entertainment. And for this, there was only one man I could pick. A man who probably, as I've already said, could not be more different from Andrea Pirlo. A man with the most absurd story in football, I believe. Not just in football, but in sport. A man who didn't start playing professional football until he was 27. A man who, while Pirlo drinks red wine, he drinks 3 Red Bulls and a double espresso before every fucking game. And drinks port out of a Lucozade bottle.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, allegedly. A man who didn't just not play professional football until he was 27, but who would go on to lead his team to 2 promotions, avoid relegation, win the Premier League and the FA Cup. I'm obviously talking about none other than chat shit, get banged Jamie Vardy. Now, for those of you who haven't heard the Jamie Vardy story, fucking strap in, because this is batshit. This is like something from a film, and if it was in a film, you'd say this is silly. His story is absurd.
I think it's really funny when you hear that football thing. Well, it's in all sports when like something crazy happens and then people are like, "You can't write it," and it's like, "Well, you can." Hollywood has been writing last minute goals and to win the World Cup. Exactly. Like you very much can write it. It's not that crazy to come up with, but yeah.
The Jamie Vardy story is
the man. Amanda Bynes pretends to be a boy, wins a football tournament, then gets her tits out. They write it.
She did do that, didn't she?
Anyway, look, I think the Jamie Vardy story is just absurd. Like, you could write it, but if you wrote it, you'd be like, this is a 27? 27? Anyway, look, let me get into it. So, Vardy was born in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, in 1988, and he grew up in Hillsborough, and he was a boyhood fan of Sheffield Wednesday, and he wanted to be a footballer up the Owls from as early as he could remember. And he did actually get into the Sheffield Wednesday Academy. However, he was let go at 16 because they thought he was too small and couldn't make it as a professional footballer. And he had to start his career playing non-league football. And for those of you who don't know, the football fucking league in this country goes down low. And in theory,
non-league just means lower than League Two.
Yes, but the football pyramid, like he started very low. And that's what I think people don't realize is like what's amazing about this country is
15 tiers.
Yeah. In theory, as long as you have a stadium that can take the capacity and you have the infrastructure, you could bring a team from the 15th tier to the Premier League. In theory.
Yeah, in theory. Yeah.
And obviously teams like Wrexham and stuff like that, they're kind of proving the
Luton went from non-league to Premier League within 12 years, something like that, 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is absurd. Like that is mad. And that's what makes, I think, the Premier League and the English
The
football
English
pyramid
football, yeah, so good.
as good as it is. And I think Jamie Vardy is indicative of that story and that infrastructure. So,
You know, there are more clubs in Britain than there are people in London.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there are more clubs. England has the most
Did you
football
believe
clubs in
that?
the world.
That was a fake stat. That was
There are like
complete
6 million people in
misinformation.
London.
Yeah,
Seb.
that's a complete misinformation. I can't believe you bought that.
No,
You live in
There
London.
are more. England does have the most football clubs in the world.
Yeah. We
More than Brazil, more than any other country, even though they're massive countries.
We love club football here.
We fucking love footy, man.
It's why our fucking national teams suck. Or maybe it's because our national team sucks, so we just make loads of clubs to be like, we don't care about the national team, just fucking club football, fuck it.
Every single village, every single town.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Exeter, there are like 7 or 8 clubs
Yeah. It is
in
crazy.
one city.
Yeah, there's a club that's like a
Heavitree,
5 minute
Pinnow,
walk down from my place.
Exwick.
And I see them play like on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's just some random non-league team. It's just like,
Yeah, exactly.
The tiny village I grew up in had a football team and a football club and a clubhouse and a pitch. They, like the full thing. A village with I think a population of like less than 800 people, and they've got a full team.
Yeah.
Plays every week. It's nuts. Anyway, look, he didn't make it, so he had to start from the bottom. And aged 20, he got into the reserve team. So this is not even the first team of Stockbridge Park Steel, who at the time played in the 9th tier of English football.
love it.
Which, I mean, you're talking something that we call like the ISCA tier Southwest Premier Division League One or something like that. Like,
Also, we could never play in that league.
yes, I mean, it's still very, very competitive.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I might be able to. I mean, I've scored
Nope.
I've scored
Nope.
84 and 28 this season.
Yeah, against like people in wheelchairs.
They're not in wheelchairs. They just have no legs.
But anyway, like I know,
Kicking their
obviously,
crutches. Sorry.
tier 9 of the English football pyramid is still a very high standard, but compared to the levels of Andrea Pirlo, where we are talking, muddy pitches outside of a Morrison's, fucking, you got to finish the game in 90 or the fucking next team's got to come on kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting really at the bottom here.
Pints at
But
half time.
Yeah, exactly. Vaping on the touchline. However, he wasn't in the reserves for long, and he quickly established himself as what he has been for the rest of his career, which is this like tenacious, hard-working, gritty, just fucking get stuck in, prolific goal scorer. Just absolutely do or die. Just, scrappy is the word I'd use. He's a scrappy fuck. Scrawny little guy, just fucking nibble at your heels, just not give up. And
Okay.
however, during this time,
Bit of a weird analogy.
during this time, he also, off the pitch, things aren't exactly perfect. He actually got into a bar fight when some guys took the piss out of his mate who was wearing hearing aids. Vardy went and beat them both up, and actually had to, as a result, played 6 months of his career with Stockbridge Park Steels with an electronic ankle tag and had a curfew. Now, as a result of this...
Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, no, carry.
No. You're probably about to say exactly what I was
As a
going to say.
result of this, he would only play the first games, especially away games, and would have to run off the pitch the moment the halftime whistle went, vault the fence, and sprint to his mum and dad's car, who would drive him full pout back to the house so he didn't break his curfew. At this point, he was earning £30 a week and working at a carbon fibre factory that made splints for disabled. However, despite the fact that he was leaving games at halftime, he still scored 40 goals in 88 appearances for the club and started to get the attention of bigger teams. But bearing in mind, he's born in 1988. At this point, we're talking 2010. Like, he's getting on a bit already. So, let's just make that clear. So
he's 22. I don't know about that's getting on a bit, but
maybe it's not 8. If I'm fucked that up.
No, he got to the Premier League in when he was 27.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm about right. Anyway, look, that in itself is is what it is. However, in 2010, he starts getting, the attention of bigger teams. When I say bigger, they're still non-league, but they are bigger. So in 2010, he signs to FC Halifax Town for the whopping fee of 15 grand, which for a
Wow.
non-league football player is a lot of money. And I think that
Yeah.
goes to show like how seriously he is. Like these are players who are getting paid 30, 40 quid a match, and his contract is worth 15 grand. So,
No, they were being paid more. They would get paid more than 30, 40 quid. That's like the conference.
what do you mean?
That's like the precipice before the League Two. So it's a little bit more than that. But yeah, it is non-league.
Halifax weren't in. They weren't in. They were still. They were in
tier?
like the
Conference
I think they were-
North.
I don't think they were at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Vanarama National League Conference North.
Oh,
Is that
alright,
the
fair
tier?
enough.
Is that the tier before League Two?
That's
No, I don't think it is.
you have the
The tier
Conference North and
before.
South kind of run, and then you have the Conference Premier, which is the proper conference.
So he's still
Okay.
two. He's still two
Yeah,
players
yeah.
off of professional football.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Although they there's more in the Conference Premier. There's more professional teams than there are semi-professional. Like the
Is that-
non-league game is
Yeah.
getting bigger and bigger as it goes along. And
Yeah, because every
getting more
time a
money.
League Two side goes down, and now the quality of League Two's gone up. Every time a good League Two side goes down, they're really good and solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
fair. Well, anyway,
Sorry. Yeah.
he had an unreal 2010-2011 season for Halifax, scoring 25 goals in 37 appearances, winning the Players' Player of the Season, and almost scoring 3 back-to-back hat-tricks in back-to-back games. However, he had to settle for 2 hat-tricks and a brace. Fucking, what's that? 8 goals in 3 games. You'd have to make do.
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously that then really puts him on the map, and he ends up being signed for Fleetwood Town for an undisclosed but rumored to be very high non-league fee. I've not seen an exact figure, but I think it may have been a record. But
I'll
I
find
think
out.
Fleetwood Town wanted to keep it quiet. It's important to note that at this point, Fleetwood still don't play in the Premier League, in the professional football pyramid. They're not playing league football. They played in the Conference Premier Division, which is still one league below.
150 grand.
Wow.
I mean, fuck me, for non-league football, Jesus Christ.
pretty big.
And 10 times the investment Halifax Town made on him. So I bet they were sitting pretty as well. He actually made, and this is such a non-league football thing, which I think is brilliant. He made his debut for the club the same day he signed. So he signed, put on a shirt,
Yeah.
went out to play. He didn't score. He actually didn't score in his first 2 games. However, he made up for it because he scored 2 goals in his third appearance. He finished that season, the 2011-12, as the league's top scorer with 31 goals in 36 games, and secured Fleetwood's first ever promotion to the Football League. This then caught the eye of league football, one of whom, Leicester, paid a record fee for a non-league player of £1 million, rising to a potential 1.7 million with add-on. And that would already be mental. Like if he just went to Leicester at that point and had a bang average career, going from Stockton Park Steels to being sold to Leicester for 1.7 million is a wild story. Like I think it's easy to think that because clubs have there is the potential for a club to go from the 9th tier to the Premier League, or like Luton. Players don't often do that. Like the majority of top division players came through academies of top division teams.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very unheard of, especially to be signing at 27.
He's
For
old.
Like
Yeah.
that is very late to the game. I can only think of a couple more. I know what's his name from who had that awful injury for fucking Tyrone Mings. He was a bit of a late one, wasn't he? I think he came through at like 24, 25. maybe.
Oh, really?
He was playing like
Yeah.
non-league.
Wow.
And there was another one. One of them got picked. Who was it who got picked up at a charity match? Was it Ross Noble? Someone like
Ross
that.
Noble.
Not Ross Noble, Mark Noble.
Mark Noble played like 600 games for West Ham.
Who am I thinking of? And there's another player who got picked up at like a
Yeah,
charity match, but I can't think of it. But anyway, we're talking pretty unlikely already. However, this is where things start to get really silly and really goal to living the dream. So he did actually have a bit of a drop off in his first season. He only scored 5 goals in 29 games in his first season at Leicester, and it
This is
wasn't
the
helped by the
greatest
fact.
footballer of all time.
Well, he's allowed to have a drop off, isn't he? Like he's obviously,
An entire season of a drop off.
yeah, people have bad seasons, man. I mean, it's all part of the story, isn't it? This is what I'm saying.
Messi's never scored 5 goals in a season. I was just
The top 100 players of all time have never had a drop off that hard.
I'm sure they have.
The top 100 players of all
give him
time.
credit. This is his first ever league in a
But he's
professional.
never ever played professional football in his life, and it's not helped by the fact that he's kind of brought a bit of a non-league attitude with him. So he's still smoking. He's still going out and getting drunk. He's been turning up to training drunk. I think he's
Christ.
just like not really. He's obviously got the raw ability and like the raw drive, but like potentially because he didn't come up through the academy system, he doesn't have the like
The discipline.
to play at that level. And he actually considered retiring from football completely. However, the manager and the club's vice chairman sort of sat him down for a chat and were like, we think that you can be a really great player. And even though you're getting on a bit, and even though you've come to the game late, we think you can be really great. But you need to take it more seriously. So he stopped getting pissed. He didn't stop. He's still pretty rogue up to this point. Like we'll go on to talk about that later, but like he's still drinking.
later.
You're
We're getting there.
you're like half an hour into this and he hasn't even won the
Yeah,
Premier
Come on,
18
how-
minutes.
18
18 minutes.
You've
Alright,
gone over
calm
all the time by a country mile already.
Okay, right. I'll speed up a bit. So he drops some of it, but he's still drinking. Famously, he drinks 3 Red Bulls and a double espresso and has a cheese and ham omelette before every game.
Espresso.
What?
Yeah,
Double
you said-
espresso.
You said
You said
espresso.
express.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know what? Genuinely, that is one of the peak factors, one of the key pinpointing factors towards people who have psychopathic tendencies. So you've played yourself.
What?
I don't care if I'm a psychopath.
Correcting espresso for espresso.
Saying what is right. Yeah.
No, so people who believe that the way in which a word is said, someone misspeaking, outvalues what they're trying to say, is indicative of people with
I
psychopathy.
don't think it outvalues what you're trying to say. I just corrected you.
Yeah, what are
Well,
you talking about?
Yeah.
If I said aluminum,
psycho.
you would correct me and say aluminium. We're not American, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I might. I'm just being a,
The regional manager the other day.
You're
said
being a dick.
Ablib.
You're
He
the
said
psychopath
ablib.
here.
Am I?
I was like, he was like ablib. What? It was like, we'll just ablib. I was like, do you mean adlib? Is that what? You had to fucking Google it. I was like, you fucking idiot.
Well, you know, quite
These
frankly,
things we take for granted, you know.
yeah.
that joke went down like a bit of a damp squid. So
It's damp squid.
anyway, he that investment in him clearly paid off because the next season he scored 16 goals for Leicester and they won promotion to the Premier League. Again, he's named player of the season. And again, that would be fucking nut, but it doesn't end there. So his first season in the Premier League, he scores his first goal of the 21st of September when he scored once to set up when he scored once and set up 4 goals to help Leicester come back from down to win 5-3 against Manchester United.
God,
That
wow.
was a
also-
good game. Yeah.
He also helped them complete one of the most mental relegation escapes in Premier League history, one of the great escapes, helping Leicester win 22 points post-April in that season.
Jesus.
However, the next season would be the season of Jamie Vardy. So bearing in mind, it's no mean feat for a player come up from the 9th division of English football to the Premier League. And the year before, again, it's 16 goals, then he's 7 goals. He's established himself as like an okay mid-level striker, nothing special. However, 2015-16, he scores 24 goals, matching Sergio Aguero and coming in 1 goal behind Harry Kane, probably Britain's most prolific goal scorer. He also broke the record for scoring the most consecutive Premier League goals back-to-back by scoring in 11 games consecutively. And he scored an absolute stunner described as world-class by none other than Jurgen Klopp himself when Leicester beat Liverpool 2-0.
That was a good goal.
And of course, he led Leicester, who had been fighting relegation the year before, to winning their first ever Premier League title in one of the most ridiculous sporting moments in history. Now, I can't keep giving you a blow-by-blow of all the reasons I think he's the greatest.
Thank God.
But I think anyone to go from the 9th division of English football to joining a championship club aged 27, to winning that club promotion to the Premier League at 29, to winning the Premier League with that club at 31, and to playing in the Champions League at 32 is fucking unbelievable. He also turned down a £22 million bid to join Arsenal because he was just like, nah, stay with the club. And as I've already said, he drinks 3 Red Bulls and a double espresso before every game.
Espresso,
mate, because it makes you go fast like the Express. He also openly chews tobacco during games, and he scored 136 Premier League goals. Romelu Lukaku, Steven Gerrard, Heung-min Son, Sadio Mane, Raheem Sterling, Paul Scholes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Drogba, Dimitar Berbatov, and Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's the epitome of the footballing dream. He is not an academy prospect. He's some bloke from Sheffield who drinks Red Bulls, smokes ciggies, and goes to Centre Parks with the missus. And yet he is one of the fastest, most tenacious, driven, and prolific goal scorers the Premier League has ever seen. And at 37, he's just scored 20 goals in 37 games in the Championship to become Leicester's top scorer again and win them promotion back to the Premier League. He's a club legend. He's a legend of the game. He's an icon. He's Jamie Chatshit Get Banged Vardy.
I could score 20 goals in the Championship. Nah,
you couldn't.
Jamie Vardy. I love Jamie Vardy, and the thing you didn't say about him is his shithousery.
Well, I know I was trying to get it all in there, but
he scores against like Sheffield, and he does the owl thing, and he does the flapping thing. He goes and gives the finger to the fans.
Was the flapping against Crystal Palace? Because
he's doing the eagle. He's like jumping around. Like
I read a thing where he was like, I don't know why I do it. He's always like, before every game, he's like, I'm not that kind of person. But he's like, once it gets into him, he just becomes like really shithousey. Like he said, he never like thinks about what he's going to do. He just like, he'll be like, I just feel myself like running over to the Wolves fan and like howling like a wolf. And he's like, I don't know why I'm doing it. It just like comes over me.
Because he's a natural dickhead. Like he's a natural shithouse, isn't he?
But that's what I like about him. Like he's not.
Yeah, I like about him.
Of Pirlo, like he drinks fucking Red Bull and double espressos for breakfast. Like he's not elegant. He's not polite.
Classy.
He's just scrappy. He's just like the epitome of driven and. You know, I think he's probably the best that like English football has to offer. He's just some scrappy little cunt who he scored 136.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I think Jude Bellingham, David Beckham. You know,
leading goal scorer of La Liga,
50 players. Yeah,
no, but he's the
Harry
best,
Kane.
He's the best that our league system has to offer. If there's such a thing as an American dream, he's the Englishman's dream.
He's the English football player's dream. Like,
absolutely.
Even up until today, and even tomorrow, I know I can still make it in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Because if Jamie Vardy can go from that at age 27, I'm like, I'm only 28. Nearly 29. That's time. I can be and I think to myself, if I get to the Premier League by 31, everyone will say I'm old, but I'm not old. I'm young because I've only just got to the Premier League, right? Your career's like 10 years, yeah? well, I'm young. I'll be playing till I'm 41 then, because these guys who retire at 30 have been playing since they were 20, and I've been playing since I was 30. So I'm like, I've got it. I've got it in the bag.
That's literally Jamie Vardy logic.
Yeah, that is Jamie Vardy logic.
Until he was 27, he's like, I've still got the legs, mate.
It's crazy.
But you've given me an interesting decision to make. I've got Andrea Pirlo versus Jamie Vardy for the GOAT football player, which is something. I thought maybe we'd have Maradona versus Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane versus Franz Beckenbauer, Johan Cruyff versus, well, by this logic, it could be fucking Victor Inichebe, but
if this helps your decision at all,
yeah,
Pirlo still holds the record for the best average pass completion rate out of any player who's ever played in the Italian league. And he played in the Italian league for like 15, 16 years, and he had like a pass completion rate of like 87%, which is fucked.
Listen,
especially with the amount of through balls and long balls he was chucking forward.
I already know my decision.
Well, if it helps, I'll just say that at 37, Jamie Vardy is still in, according to FootMob, the 100th percentile at goal scoring in his field.
In the championship.
In the championship, yeah.
100th
in the second tier.
Yeah.
Top 1% of the championship
1%.
players. But that's because he's the top scorer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
that is completely redundant. That's what people who don't understand stats start talking. Of course he is. He's the top goal scorer in the second division. Anyway, I know my decision. Listen, we'll start by saying I love Jamie Vardy. I do love Jamie Vardy. I really respect Jamie Vardy. He's every man's dream. He scored some banging goals. He did pump him in. He didn't quite do it for England. He's never won. I know he won the Premier League with Leicester, which was like, it is a miracle.
5,001 odds.
And the FA Cup, yeah. Everyone's won the FA Cup, but
he played
the Premier League.
League.
That Premier League is a crowning achievement. But I don't know if Jamie Vardy was the one who won it for them.
Who would you say did?
I'd say
I think Spurs bottling it.
It's a combination of everyone being shit that year. Arsenal and Spurs bottling it really hard. Giroud didn't score for like 3 months towards the end. He like just did not score at all.
Yeah. Arsenal should have won that. They were top at Christmas and flying, and then they just died.
And then they just stopped scoring,
I think Kante, Mahrez, Danny Drinkwater, there were some big players. But I love Jamie Vardy. But here's my logic, right? If I'm going to pick a best 11 of players who played since like 2005, 2010, right? So not including Maradona and Pele and all that. Players that I grew up with. I'd probably have Buffon in goal. I'd have Dani Alves at right back. I'd have Puyol, Piqué, maybe centre backs. Maybe get someone else in there. I don't know. Left back, I'll probably have Marcelo. And then I come to the midfield and I go, right, Xavi, Gerrard, nah. Maybe Iniesta, maybe Zidane, probably Xavi and Iniesta. Do I want Busquets at the base? No, I pick Pirlo every single time of my 11. I'm serious. And I've said that you can go back in the Discord chat. This is my 11. Pirlo's in there. Right wing, Messi. Left wing, Ronaldo. Up top, should I have Jamie Vardy? And then I think I could probably list 25 players right now I'd probably pick above Jamie Vardy for that 11. And that's not any disrespect to Vards, because I love him and he is a fantastic football player and he is scored a load of goals and he did win the Premier League once and it was a miracle, and that's great. I don't want to take anything away from Jamie Vardy, but he's no Andrea Pirlo. He doesn't get into my world 11. And if I've got to pick between the two, Pirlo is the GOAT. I don't want to be disrespectful, but a number distance. I don't know.
I do think
at distance, it might be tens of kilometers or a meter, but there's a distance there between the two players, I'm afraid.
this is the thing, is I think it's almost like they play different games. Like Jamie
Yeah.
Vardy's playing like
Yeah,
he's playing like scrappy,
Well, he's a goal
football.
scorer.
and he's a goal scorer. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's a goal scorer. Whereas like Pirlo, he's obviously his footballing IQ, his ability on the ball, like it is obviously like talent, impact in every measurable way except goal. And
Well, he
a
scored a
midfielder.
lot.
He
of
scored a
free
lot of
kicks,
goals.
and he scored. Yeah. He's still scored a lot
he
of
still
fucking
scored a lot of
bangers.
goals for a
don't-
deep lying playmaker.
but that's
Yeah.
what I mean. But in every other, in every conceivable way except probably, I think Vardy's probably scored more goals than Pirlo. Surely.
He has. Pirlo scored
he's
61.
Vardy's a pure goal scorer. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He gets in the
So
other
like,
things.
other than that, obviously Pirlo is better in every conceivable way. As I said, I didn't pick Vardy because I thought he was the
Good.
GOAT in terms of his ability. I just picked him because I think he's got the greatest footballing story, probably.
He's got a fantastic story. The story is like incredible. I wish they'd make like an. Actually, no, I don't wish they make a good movie about it because they make a shit movie. I just like the story. The story is incredible and it gives people like me hope.
Yeah,
I still
100%.
have hope to this day that I will be a professional football player. It will all be fine. But I would be disrespecting Pirlo so much by picking Vardy ahead of him. Pirlo is one of the players, and Seb, I don't know if you've watched much Pirlo, but go and watch some compilations. He is one of the players that you watch and you fall in love with football. That's
He is
why you're
art.
a football fan. He is art. Like,
It's
he
Xavi.
is fucking art.
Xavi actually once famously said, "Pirlo doesn't play football; he teaches football."
Yeah. Xavi Hernandez, maybe the greatest midfielder of all time, said that.
Yeah, and he even put Pirlo above him. He said he was a better player than him.
He might have been. You know what? Andrew Pirlo might be the most underrated player of all time.
Really? I mean, I don't know about
In
that.
the sense that, like I said, he's in my starting 11 for my World 11, but how many people say Andre Pirlo is one of the greatest midfielders of all time if you ask them in the street? They all forget about him. He's won the Champions League multiple times, multiple league titles, went unbeaten with Juve, and pretty much won them the World Cup.
Yeah, he was a very, very he was a key player in that World Cup win.
Exactly.
And in like, because he never won the World Cup again or the Euros, but like remember the Euro 2012 where he fucking lit that tournament on fire. He was
lit that tournament on fire.
pretty much the player of the tournament, and they
At 33.
and then they got battered. Was it 5-1 in the final
4-0.
by 4-0 by Spain, which is just like, to be fair, that Spain team was
Oh, yeah, that
nuts.
was ridiculous.
But Pirlo was like, he was kicking,
Yeah.
he was dragging Italy, kicking and screaming
was
to that final,
dragging it
whether they
at
liked it or not.
33.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that final in your Sun Lounge, Vinny, and you were very angry and upset.
At one point, I think after the third or fourth goal win, I just like stood up, turned the TV off, and walked away.
Yeah, me and Ben, like, for fuck's sake, Vinny, go and turn it back on again because we wanted to watch him get spanked. But yeah, Pirlo, he's won this episode. He's the GOAT. I love Jamie Vardy, but fucking hell, Andre Pirlo, you beautiful, beautiful man. And he's way sexier.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Jamie Vardy's not sexy.
No. Pirlo's
Jamie
a
Vardy looks like a
sexy
builder.
man. Yeah. Jamie
That's
Vardy
what-
wolf whistles at young girls from his white van. Pirlo, he's a sexy man.
Jamie Vardy looks like the sort of person you'd see on one of those on the tools Instagram accounts,
Yeah,
Of, like,
or
guys-
Crime Watch.
like shitting in each other's like safety
Hands.
helmets and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I just like him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but it's going to be Pirlo. That's it. Hour and 38. That's not bad for a football episode. I'm going to say that's pretty good. I can see Vinny's watching Real Madrid Bayern Munich. We're all eager to go and watch Real Madrid Bayern Munich.
0-0.
I know it's 0-0. I've got the text up. But that's it for this week. Who would have thought I'd be crowning Pirlo as the greatest player of all time? I'm happy with that. I fucking love Pirlo. You played on my bias as well a little bit there, Vinny. But
I will say-
he was always going to be Vardy.
Out of all the players I've ever seen play, he is by far the most entertaining, in my opinion. Like him and Lionel Messi. Obviously, Messi's just out of this world, ridiculous.
Yeah, you put him to the side again. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, Messi actually is the GOAT. But like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be so fun if we picked Messi because like, it's obviously the GOAT.
It would just be, yeah.
Also-
but
Messi probably. This is another of my hot takes that's probably going to land wrong.
But yeah,
but
let's go for it.
no,
Let's go for it. I
No,
wanna
no,
hear it.
no.
yeah, before we
I-
finish, we want to have 3 of your hottest takes.
3
Okay.
hot takes from Sadak.
Okay,
Let's go.
I'll
They'd be
hot despite his acclaim, still the most underrated footballer who's ever lived, because I think people still don't understand quite how good he is. Like, I think
Like you, up until like yesterday, saying I don't think he's that good. What?
I've never said I don't think he's that good. I just think that it's hard to understand because everything he does is so good.
Yeah, but I had to give you about 25 lectures with PowerPoint presentations as to why Messi was better than Ronaldo, and you still didn't listen to me until about 12 months ago when he won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I know.
Right, hot take number 2. That one wasn't hot enough.
Let's go. What was this hot take that Messi's the most underrated footballer?
I think Messi's the most underrated footballer of all time. I think that
he's not.
Haaland last season is the best striker the Premier League's ever seen, and I think that.
That's not yeah.
I think
Thierry has got a little bit to say about that.
No, it's a numbers game. And I think that
just goals. Henry had it all. Had it all.
Yeah, but I said striker.
Haaland's a penalty merchant.
Yeah.
He's turned into an absolute penalty merchant.
Yeah, it's still the job of a striker to get assists and to dribble past the last defender. Haaland doesn't
good
do
striker.
That. Yeah,
Haaland's fucking shit, mate. He's a League 2 player. Number 3.
And I think on his day,
for fuck's sake.
on his day, genuinely, I think on his day, JJ Okocha could have played in any team in the world.
No. No.
Honestly,
right.
I think on his day,
no.
JJ Okocha could have played for Real Madrid 100%.
Any team in the world at any point. Any team.
Yeah. On his day.
Who is that?
No.
JJ Okocha. It's so
mate,
good
on my day, when I bang fucking 8 on 5-a-side, I'll be starting ahead of Messi. Rubbish. Right. It's time to end the show on that fucking Seb's spicy takes. I don't know what we're doing next week. We're doing something. We're getting close to the end. Yeah. Something's happening.
Yeah. Did we even decide what we were gonna do? Let me just quickly see if I can get up. Get up, boy. Oh, but fuck, we're doing another big one. It's greatest TV show.
Oh shit, that's me versus you. Yeah.
We're fucking hitting these big ones out now that we know we've only got like 4 episodes left.
Ooh. I know, I can't wait for greatest N-word spoken on television. Okay, we can cut that.
If we remember.
I won't.
Yeah, I know you won't. But you did remember to cut your thing about the French people. I double checked that, and you cut.
Oh yeah, I was watching it, and I was just like, yeah, I thought it was really funny, but I was like, I just probably cut that.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
yeah,
this episode was great. I loved it. I loved every single second.
Very fun.
Yeah, happy days. Great to talk about football. When we eventually start the football podcast, we're going to do it every single week. You know,
we'll wheel Sebek out for more Sebek's hot take of the week.
Yeah, that'll be our weekly feature. It's Sebek's hot takes this week. Here he comes.
I think Messi's the most underrated player ever.
Yeah,
I'm crumbling under the pressure.
I think Lukaku's a better goal scorer than Henry on his day.
No, that is true though.
On his day, I love on his day.
I love
what
on
does that
his
even
day.
mean?
On his day.
You know, on his day when the wind's blowing in the right direction, you know, he's got it going on. I think that's like fair.
Yeah. No, it's not. But anyway, that's it. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
I love you, bye.